Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 4 p.m. Could I have the adoption of the agenda?
That West Elgin Council hereby adopts the regular council agenda for April 10th, 2025 as presented.
Mover, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? All in favour? It's carried. Disclosure of any pecuniary interest? Seeing none. And we go straight on to delegations. And Mr. Ryan Cheeseman isn't going to be here this evening, so we go to 4.2. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Delegations to be heard in compliance with procedural bylaw 2024-05, section 6.8. Delegations shall be limited in speaking not more than 10 minutes in total per person, per group, or per organization. Section 12.1, members of the public who constitute the audience in the council chambers shall respect the decorum of council, maintain order and quiet, and may not address council without permission, interrupt any speaker or action of the members or any person addressing council, speak out, behave in a disorderly manner, or make any noise or sound that proves disruptive to the conduct of the meeting. Section 12.2, placards, signs, posters, etc., or any advertising devices shall not be permitted in the council chambers or any other location in which council may conduct their business. Section 12.3, should turn all electronic communication devices to vibrate, silent, or mute during the entire meeting, or exit the meeting if they wish to make or receive a telephone call. Section 12.4, the mayor, chair, may request that any member or members of the public vacate the council chambers or any other location in which council may conduct their business if their behavior is deemed to be disruptive to the business at hand.
Okay, thank you. So we go straight to delegations and we go to 4.2. Mr. Adam Lumley. Port Glasgow Trailer Park requests for amendment to upcoming motion.
Thank you. Can I confirm 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
10. Did
10.
I say 5?
I just want to make sure. My first one was 5. This one was 10. This is my fourth and final. Municipal bylaw allows people to only speak twice in a calendar year on the same topic. So this is going to be my final one for the trailer park for this calendar year, and hopefully not necessary in years moving forward. So I just want to thank council for having me here today, and thank all of our friends from the trailer park and friends from the surrounding community that came out as well to hear what I have to say, as well as what others have to say. 2 weeks ago, I stood here in the same spot and I advocated for the sale of Port Glasgow Trailer Park, not because I was ever in a position where I wanted to be a front runner or wanted to purchase Port Glasgow Trailer Park. That was never the case. I said what I said in the last council meeting simply because if the municipality decides to sell Port Glasgow Trailer Park, I want the residents of Port Glasgow Trailer Park to be the first in line and the only people that are able to purchase it in order to preserve the park community itself and keep it as status quo as possible. So that being said, I've talked to a lot of people throughout this whole thing as well as tonight. There's a lot of mixed feelings in the room. A lot of people are experiencing anger, fear, confusion. And one thing that as we progress down this, like, we're stuck on the rails and people are getting frustrated and we're losing our sense of compassion for one another, whether it be for the residents of the Port Glasgow Trailer Park. There's a lot of focus on the revenues these days, or whether it be for compassion towards councillors who got in their positions because they care about the community and want to make a difference within the community, or, even the relationships that the Port Glasgow Trailer Park has with the surrounding community. Like, there's mixed feelings there, and people are expressing anger towards each other, and it's completely uncalled for. Like, I understand that there's differing perspectives, and a lot of people want to fully and completely stop the sale, and I understand that movement, and I'm not opposed to that movement. But at the end of the day, if the direction is that the municipality is going to go forward with the sale of the trailer park, then absolutely, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to stand divided if necessary to purchase the trailer park cooperatively with the residents in order to preserve the park and our community, as well as the legacy of the Old Boys Association. So going back to their legacy, and I'll get to the amendment part. I know that's what my whole purpose is here. I'll get there, I promise. Going back to what I just mentioned about the legacy of the trailer park, the Old Boys Association, I'll refer to as the AOBA moving forward, was established back in 1920 as a place for reunion and for families to gather, which is what it still stands to operate and function as today. It's a generational trailer park. I'm on my second generation coming up through the trailer park. We got lots of family coming through there as well, and we want that to continue. So this season, I want to say thank you as well to the council administration for agreeing to open and operate the park this year. It gives us some security, even though there's a lot of uncertainty for all of us. This is going to be our 59th year of continuous operations. In May of 1966, ground was broken for the Port Glasgow Tent and Trailer Park, it was called at the time. And from there, that relationship was the AOBA did in fact own the land underneath the trailer park. However, the trailer park itself, the business, was from its inception always owned by the municipality, and it's up to the municipality to direct what they want to do with that business. And so from 1966 until 1999 and 2000, the period within that year is a little bit gray. Port Glasgow Trailer Park functions as a community, and it was run as a community by the community itself for 3.5 decades. It progressed, it made improvements, and it had a community-centric focus where, you know, everybody lived within the community and made those improvements as necessary to make it a better environment for everybody else. Eventually, the association aged out and could no longer keep up with operations, and they turned the operations of the trailer park over to, oh man, I lost my, sorry. They turned the operations over to the municipality of Alderborough. So over the next 24 years, things have slowly declined, and that's the state that we're in right now. And I had a completely different delegation I was going to present. And last night, I really reflected on where did things go wrong and how did we end up in the position that we're in right now. And I think it has to do with the relationship that's happened over the last, let's call it 24 years to give a round number. The people before were within our community and they controlled the spend, they controlled the operations, et cetera, about the park. However, once the municipality took over, the operations of the park were basically dictated by council decisions and by administration recommendations. And so what happens in that scenario is for the first 2 years, there was no election. It was probably favorable. For the next 4 years, people on council come in, they have different ideas that they want to implement. They may or may not be in line with what the residents of the park want, or even the AOPA at that time. And then we fast forward another 4 years, the administration changes, new people are elected in with different ideas and different thoughts. And the cycle continues for the next 24 years over and over and over, where we get to the point where we are today. And we've got a reserve fund that's going to surpass $1 million this year. We've had promises over the years on improvements that are going to be done in the park. They don't get done. And the reason that these improvements aren't getting done aren't because anybody sitting in this room, council included, or the administration. It's not because they want to improve the park or don't want to improve the park. It's because we're held up by bureaucracy. Even when we talk about the process that I'm here because of today, we go through a 2-week cycle, an update in 2 weeks, an update in 2 weeks, and fast forward. Now we're at 6 months, and we're about to pass a motion tonight that's going to take us back to square one, essentially. Hopefully it's square one with a lot of information gathered over the last 6 months. But that's where I really think the problem lies, is it's no longer a trailer park or an association that's making those decisions from within the community itself and from the community that actually benefits from it. What council and the administration have heard over the past 2 and a few years, or 2 decades plus a few years, is nothing but the complaints from the trailer park, what needs to be improved. And where the point of contention comes from there is the people who are sitting on council today, and many of the, probably the vast majority of the people that have sat on council for the last 24 years, they're not residents of the trailer park. They're not campers of the trailer park, and they're not living and breathing the community of the trailer park that we are. For us, it's 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, even over the course of the winter. And anybody here is a trailer park resident. That is what we live and breathe. That's what we talk about all winter. We look forward to getting back to May and getting back to what we love the most. And so with respects to the reserves and their bloating and everything else and not getting spent, I've already proposed a solution. If the trailer park goes up for sale, we're in a position, we want to buy it, we want to strike a deal, and we want to get it done, and we want to preserve the land and stay as status quo as possible. Now, with the new motion coming up, I've got a plan B, and I think my plan B is favorable to probably everybody within this room. And as I get through this, I'll get into more detail on that. So council has already communicated why they want to sell the park. The reasons that have been highlighted in the communications that have come out to us is it's an administrative burden, it's an operational burden, and it takes too much time away from other priorities within West Elgin. And I think we can all agree, even when it comes to these council meetings over the last 6 months, trailer park has taken up a significant amount of your time. I can only imagine outside of these chambers how much additional time that's taking up as well. And then we address what are the concerns from the public. They'll lose access to the public park and the beach. They don't want to incur new tax costs for the upkeep and severance of land. They believe the land was donated and therefore should not be sold. And if it's no longer a trailer park, there's going to be a significant impact on the local economy. So on November 14th, my first delegation here, I asked for council and the administration to work with us, the residents of Port Glasgow Trailer Park, to have our corporation assume operations of the trailer park. This option was secondary to the request of considering that we purchase the park as a co-op if and when you decide to sell. I stated that I believe that a land lease agreement would make the most sense in the short term, where the corporation takes over the business of the park and leases the land from the municipality. I also stated at that time, we are committed to taking an active role in the park's management, and we request support and guidance in transitioning to a resident-led model, including access to necessary resources and expertise from all of you guys as well. Yes?
2 minutes.
Oh, geez, I better speed her up.
If
Sorry.
you would.
So in hindsight, I think that's more than a short-term solution, and that can actually be the long-term plan. By passing the operations of the park back to a corporation that Port Glasgow Trailer Parks make, I think that we can enter into a land lease agreement, allow us to operate the trailer park, not dissimilar to how the yacht club functions in its present state. And this addresses all of the issues that I listed already. The administrative burden to staff and the municipality will be absolutely minimal. The operational burden will be zero. The point where it takes too much time away from other priorities in West Elgin are absolutely reserved. When it comes to the public, they fear they'll lose access to the public park and the beach. It's still public land. You do not have to sell it in this agreement. They still have access to everything they access now. They don't want to incur new taxes for the upkeep of severed land. You absolutely will not have to. You do not have to sever the land. We've always been the caretakers of Memorial Park and will continue to do so. It's just a natural progression for us. With regards to the land being donated and therefore should not be sold, it's solved. The land doesn't have to be sold. We'll lease the land from you and continue operations on the park. And with regards to economic impact, there is none because our trailer park community stays intact and we continue to frequent the businesses that we love within the community. So the specific amendment that I'm asking for, I might need an extra 30 seconds. The specific amendment that I'm asking for is that council considers handing operations back to the residents of Port Glasgow Trailer Park by way of a non-share corporation. We're proposing as the Old Boys Legacy Association, that's pending a name search, created by the residents of Port Glasgow Trailer Park under a land lease agreement with West Elgin. With this amendment, there can be a favorable outcome. I don't fully understand or know the complete process for amending a motion. However, if it cannot be included as amendment tonight, I do request that it is included within the reports that are asked for in the motion that's going to be coming up with you guys tonight. So with that being said, as long as we can include that in an option in the reports, I encourage council to vote in favor of this amended motion to consider adopting as well Allegheny County's new process for decision-making, where you'll allow the next 2 weeks for public input and come back to us hopefully within the next couple of weeks with a decision so that we can move into our camp season this year with certainty on the direction that we're moving into. And that is all. So thank you guys for your attention and your time and for attending tonight as well.
Okay, thank you very much for your delegation. It was interesting, and I know we're listening. Okay. And so we go to 4.3, Mr. David Chamberlain. Port Glasgow Trailer Park, summary of public meeting held March 10, 2025. Welcome. Yeah.
I'm used to yelling in the classroom, so if I start to move around, you know that I'll tie off. I got a lanyard. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present to council tonight. My name's Dave Chamberlain, and I'm a resident of West Elgin. I'm going to review some of the information presented at the public meeting that we held on the 10th of March. Since many residents and council didn't see it, we'll just hit most of the highlights. Next. Okay, how's that? So why are we concerned? The municipality has set a deadline to post the park for sale on May 1st, 2025, as posted in the document that was sent to the people, the residents of the trailer park. Although they do say it might be later than anticipated, this May deadline still stands. So we are concerned. Next. Why are we concerned? Because a sale is final. Years ago, there was a lovely park on the corner of Furnival Road and Clark, owned by the municipality, which was the site of an old lumber yard. It doesn't look quite like that park does right now. And West Elgin is so fortunate as well to have 25 acres of lakefront property. If we sell it, we will never get it back, much like that park. Once it's gone, it's gone. Next. So was the land donated? Yes. March 27th, Norm Miller made a presentation about the donated land. The blue area on the map, 18 acres, was donated by the Old Boys Association. The red area on the map, 6 acres, was purchased by the municipality. Norm presented documents from both sides of the legal transaction, the Old Boys and Stephen McDonald from the municipality of Alderborough. They both said the 18 acres was donated. So 3/4 of the current park was donated. Next. Was it intended to be kept as a public park? Yes. March 27th, Norm presented the 1986 transfer deed, and it says, land to be held and improved as a public park. He also presented information from both sides, the Old Boys and the municipality. They both said it was intended to be kept as a public park. Is there some legal way to get around this intention? I'm sure there is. But is that what we're trying to do? Find some legal loophole to sell donated land that was intended for use as a public park? Are we looking for legal loopholes to sell other donated land within the municipality? Next. We also that night looked at the trailer park financials on the municipal website. All the information came from the approved budget and bylaw 2024-35. We also took the latest information from the CAO financials that were provided to the park residents in March of this year. Next. Does the park make money? Yes. In 2022 or 2020 during COVID, the park made $81,000 after spending $11,000 on improvements during COVID. In 2021, They made 24,000 after spending 106,000 on improvements during the second year of COVID. In 2022, they made 181,000 after spending 10,000 on improvements. In 2023, the budget says they made 184,000, but on the recent CAO document reduced it by 10,000 to 174. So when we used our numbers, we used the lower number of 174,000. In 2024, the park was budgeted to make 148,000 after improvements of 15,000. But the CAO document estimates that the park actually made 198,000 in 2024. So does the park make money? Yes. And from the financials, the taxpayers of West Elgin are not subsidizing the trailer park. And the municipality has a reserve fund, like a savings account, for upgrades in the park. It was supposedly 751,000 going into 2024. But there are some concerns. Next. The reserves are on page 3 and page 43 of the budget. The reserve numbers are confusing because none of them match. Each year, the municipality transfers the profits from the park into the reserve for upcoming improvement projects to ensure the costs don't fall on the taxpayers. Page 3 says the 2023 beginning balance was $741,000. The transfer in or deposit was $98,000. We don't know where that number comes from. It isn't the 2023 amount of $184,000 or $174,000 or the 2024 amount of $148,000. And the 2024 balance was supposed to be $840,000. But page 43 says the beginning balance for 2024 was $751,000, only $10,000 higher than the beginning balance in 2023. The transfer in or deposit was to be $150,000, not the $148,000 listed on the budget. And the 2024 balance was budgeted to be $902,000. This needs to be clarified because none of the numbers match. Next. Has the park got enough money for upcoming improvement projects? The good news is the CAO document for the trailer park residents in March says the reserve is estimated to be $948,000. So close to $1 million in the savings account to do park upgrades. So if we start with the $948,000, in 2025, there are 2 projects. Replace the washroom beside the food booth for $50,000 and the septic system upgrade to bed 1 for $50,000. In 2026, they have the stairs for $400,000. Nothing in 2027, nothing in 2028. In 2029, they budgeted an accessible washroom for $400,000. Just doing basic math, we start with $948,000 in the bank and $900,000 of projects budgeted in the next 5 years. It appears the park has enough money for the budgeted upgrades, and that's at the beginning of 2025. That's not taking into account any park profits between 2025 to 2029. Next. At that meeting, we had a lot of really constructive and very positive discussion and feedback. We want to thank everyone who came out and participated in the March 10th meeting, and here are some of the questions and concerns. When the municipality asks, don't we think infrastructure is important? We as a group say, of course we do. But unless we are desperate for money, we shouldn't sell assets. When they say the trailer park brings no benefit to the municipality, it has a picnic shelter and pavilion that can be rented, a playground, camping sites, and beach access. We should promote it, not sell it, and it covers its own costs. When they say it takes too much municipal staff, rather than sell it, why not look at the administrative model and update it to correct any issues that aren't working? Look at the way other municipalities run their trailer parks. Has the council had an economic impact study to assess any change for local businesses? The maintenance and upkeep of Memorial Park will fall on the taxpayers as a new cost if the park is sold. The trailer park is now covering all the costs for Memorial Park. Next. Are we losing beach access? Yes. The current severance model presented would have the municipality losing access to one of its 2 beaches? What is the amount of the current market value assessment for the trailer park? What is the severance process that you will be using? Will neighboring properties be receiving a notice of the severance and have an opportunity to comment? Doesn't that process take 30 days? Can we poll the residents of West Elgin for their opinion on the sale or put it in a referendum? Are local contractors being able to bid on the upgrade projects? And are the costs actually real estimates? The park is a hidden gem. We should be promoting its use to all of our residents. Next, Terry. We, the residents of West Elgin, were gifted a trailer park in 1986. The municipality decided to purchase land to expand the trailer park. Other competing trailer parks in the area are aware of the park and have been for 40 years. So are we in the trailer park business? Yes, we are. What about other municipalities? St. Clair Township in Lambton County currently operate 2 campgrounds and a golf course, in spite of other golf courses and campgrounds in that area. Saugeen Shores currently operates 2 campgrounds in Port Elgin and Southampton. Kawartha, and the lists go on. We are not alone. Let's look at what these areas are doing and see what we can learn. Next. What about the municipal strategic priorities? Everybody's work nowadays, we look at the strategic pillars of a workplace. Recreation and leisure activities, of course, this is a great fit for the trailer park and the memorial park. To ensure a strong economy, the summer residents of the trailer parks, all of them, and Bethel, are a great addition to the economy of West Elgin. We are in the business of tourism and bolstering the local economy. Having more residents in the summer certainly helps. To enhance communication, there is a lot of opportunity to improve the communication with residents over this topic and other topics in the municipality. This is a teachable moment for all of us. Next. There was no communication and discussion before the surplus announcement. There was no counselor in place from Ward 3 when the surplus declaration voting was done. We seem to be rushing through the process. Declaration, severance, and selling. There are lots of risks. If it is sold without looking at the options, at all the options, that's a concern. The municipality of West Elgin has a beautiful lakefront property, but let's take a step back, start over, and look at options with a new perspective. Let's work together to find a win-win-win for park residents, the municipal residents, and the municipality or in the council. Thank you. What do we want?
I'm going to ask you to start wrapping it up. You've had a really good delegation and you've said some good words.
Excellent.
We appreciate it. Just wrap it up.
I've got one slide.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep, that's fine.
Yep. What do we want? Postpone the sale. Take the Port Glasgow Trailer Park off the surplus list till you can prove that it isn't donated land, until various options can be thoroughly investigated. We need transparency on this asset. We need transparency on the process. What is going on and why? Let's find a way to keep our beautiful lakefront property. As council, we request that you look at the options for the trailer park, openly and transparently present your findings, and communicate with all your residents, not a pocket here and a pocket there, so that we all understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we just move on. So we go to 5, which is adoption of the minutes.
That West Elgin Council hereby adopts the minutes of March 27th, 2025 as presented.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried. Committee and board minutes.
That West Elgin Council hereby acknowledge receipt of the minutes of the Bo Horvat Community Center Board of Management meeting, January 8th, 2025, in the Economic Development Committee meetings of January 13th and February 24th, 2025, and the Recreation Committee, January 15th, 2025, as information only.
Okay, can I have a mover for that, please? Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Any businesses arising from the minutes? Seeing none. Staff reports. Mr. Sam Smith, Mokwa. Could we have, welcome Sam, could we have the wastewater, please?
You're muted, Sam.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We'll go West Lawn first, please.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so I'm just here to present the annual report for the West Lawn Wastewater Plant for 2024. The system overview has not changed. Everything is the same at the plant. Nothing, no new equipment or anything like that has been added. Our average annual flow for 2024 was 67% of the rated design capacity of 900 cubes per day. That's down 5% from 2023. We're still, believe it or not, we're still fighting, not really fighting, but we're still decanting the lagoon so that from when we did our plant upgrades. I know that was a couple of years ago, but that was quite a bit of flow that went into those lagoons, and we're still working to get those levels down. So that number is a little artificially inflated, but it's 67% as of today, or as of 2024. All of our effluent quality parameters were met targets. There was very few, if any, objective exceedances and no compliance issues. So all our testing was fine. I always like to read the last little bit of the plant. The summary: overall, the West Lawn Wastewater Treatment Plant provided effective treatment in 2024 with no exceedances with the effluent limits.
Okay, thank you. Questions from council, if there's any? Yes, Deputy Mayor Telly.
Thank you, from the chair. Just, you said you were still decanting the lagoons. When you project that this will be satisfactory?
We hope that it's this year. I mean, they're satisfactory now, but we like to get them really low just to have that buffer, say if there was ever a catastrophic failure at the plant. I'm more than comfortable with the levels of them now. We're not concerned of them overflowing or anything like that. But hopefully this summer we can get it. It's the other thing too is the last couple of summers, as everybody knows, it's been quite wet. So all that rainwater does not help us. But if we get a fairly dry summer and lower flows, then we should be able to decant that down to be where we would only really have to decant in the summer. That's typical plant operations, is that we decant in the summer and then the lagoon kind of builds back up in the winter and then we decant in the summer. So that's hopefully we get through this summer and we can get back to that point.
Great, thank you.
Any more questions on West Lawn? Okay, could you move on to the Rodney wastewater, please?
Absolutely, Mr. Mayor. So the Rodney sewage plant. So again, nothing has changed as of yet. We're very close to things changing with the upgrades coming up. But in 2024, there's no major additions or anything like that to the sewage treatment plant. The raw flows here. So this one, we are at 71.5% of the rated capacity, which is an increase from 2023. Now, again, this is even more inflated from West Lawrence capacity number. We are decanting heavily at Rodney Sewage Plant, and we did all year long. That is in anticipation of the Rodney Sewage Plant upgrades. I don't know if anybody's gone for a walk back there, but that lagoon is practically empty. So that's why that number is inflated. Again, artificially inflated. I wish I could tell you what it actually was. The way the plant's design is that the flow meter is in the middle of the process. So I have no way of telling what is actually raw and what is actually decanted water. So that's where we're at in Rodney with flows. But again, that is even more so artificially inflated by decanting than West Lorne. But we've held on while we're waiting for the upgrades. There is no major compliance issues. There's maybe a few objective exceedances, but nothing reportable and nothing that causes to cause concern. There was no limit exceedances. And again, the summary overall, the Rodney Wastewater Treatment Plant provided effective treatment in 2024 with no non-compliances and very few objective exceedances. There's no community complaints received for the treatment system during the reporting period, and capital improvements to the system will ensure continued success in the operation of the plant and improve the effluent quality.
Okay, thank you. Questions from council, if any? Seeing none, could I have the recommendation, please?
The West Elgin Council hereby receives the West Lorne and Rodney Wastewater Treatment Plant Annual Reports 2024 presented by Sam Smith, Senior Operations Manager, Southwest Region, Ontario Clean Water Agency, for information purposes only.
Mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
So we go to 7.2, which is fire. Hi, Jeff.
Good afternoon, Your Worship and Council. The monthly report for March is in front of you, and I would just add a quick note for April. We've been happy to host at the Rodney Station 2 days for the NFPA 1001 recruit class. So there was last Saturday, and it's coming Saturday.
Oh,
Happy to answer any questions.
questions from council? Deputy Mayor Tellier.
Thank you. Through the chair, just to be nosy, how many recruits are you having for that?
Yes, appreciate the question through the chair. So there's approximately 70 to 75 combined across Elgin and Middlesex counties. And they're divided up into two groups. So there's about 35 to 40 recruits each Saturday. And we've had great support from some West Elgin officers and firefighters and from across the county to make it happen. So
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks so much.
Okay, I see on your report for responses, there was 6 medical assists. Now, is that if an ambulance called, are you called at the same time and you follow them up? Or?
yeah, through the chair to council. So the medical assists, it operates on a tiered response agreement. So every municipality, every fire department has a separate or individual tiered response agreement that identifies which types of incidents, which types of calls that they respond to. So, and it does change a little bit across the county, but I do feel I think we feel we have a balanced approach on that. It's calls that we want to, or we have a great percentage of being assistance to. So it's not by no means every medical call, but just a percentage depending on call type.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Deputy Mayor Tellier.
Thank you. Through the chair. So 'tis the season for burn complaints. Just wondering if you're doing a bit of education or ever thought about that for this year.
Yeah, for sure. Through the chair. Yeah, timely question. The spring's kind of been a little soggy and slow so far, but you're right. It's a great reminder. We've had overall great compliance with our burn permits online. But we'll put a social media update reminder just on the permit process for everyone to be reminded of. So yeah, thank you.
Any more questions? No, could I have the recommendation, please?
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the monthly fire report for March 2025 from Jeff MacArthur, Fire Chief, for information purposes.
Move the police. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. 7.3, building. Monthly building report in comparison, February and March 2025. We've all had a chance to read that. Any comments on council? Seeing none, could I have the recommendation then, please, for that?
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Corey Pemberton, CBO, regarding Building Department Summary Report for the months of February and March 2025.
Okay, mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. 7.4, municipal drains. The Hauser Drain, section 78.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair to council, this is a drain report that's a request that's put in front of you today as a procedural under section 78 of the Drainage Act, asking for council's approval for the improvement of the Hauser drain and also to forward to Spreets and Associate to begin the process in accordance with the Drainage Act. So if anybody has any questions, I can certainly do my best to try and answer them on the drain.
Any questions? Seeing none. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Very much.
Yeah, okay. So a mover, please.
I'll read the
Oh,
recommendation first.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the Section 78 Notice of Request for Drain Major Improvement for Municipal Drain, known as the Hauser Drain, and that council approve the request for the improvement of the Hauser Drain dated March 31st, 2025, submitted by Gerald Schneckenberger, President of G.J. Schneckenberger Farms Limited, and that council directs staff to forward to Spreets and Associates to proceed with the necessary actions pursuant to the Drainage Act.
Mover, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. 7.5, Operations and Community Services. Monthly Operations Report, March 2025. Did you all have a chance to look at, have you anything on that, Lee? Oh, it's all what we've read, okay? Recommendation, oh, you got a question?
Through the chair, I just want to thank the staff. We had a lovely positive shout out, I guess I'd say, from a local transportation provider. We got those potholes filled very quickly and they're very happy, and we heard that from our CAO. So I appreciate you getting you out and getting those your staff to fill those potholes so quickly when they observed them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I have the recommendation, please?
The West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Infrastructure and Development, for information purposes.
Okay, mover for that one, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. Main Street drain upgrades. Who's speaking on that one? Please.
I can, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry.
Thanks through the chair. This is an information report for council. It regarding the Main Street drain, which is in West Lorne here. It runs from Graham Road east to Division Street. And that, if you remember back in 2019, at the request of Heritage Homes here in West Lorne, we started engineering on a section of that drain from Graham Road, approximately 300 meters east. That was needed to facilitate expansion of Heritage Homes. So that engineering work was done, but due to the lack of funding for that expansion of Heritage Homes, it was decided that the upgrades would not take place at that time. So based on the stormwater studies that have been done after the recent years that we've had the rain and the work that was done last year to assess alternatives, it's been decided that completion of this work, including the drain in its entirety, so from where we were going to leave off to the east end at Division Street, is the solution that is most economical and will provide the most relief for that section. So because Spreet and Associates were already appointed by council in 2019 under that section 78 to do that engineering work, there's no need for council to appoint a new engineer on that. That will be a continuation of the engineering work that was started in 2019. So as with any municipal drainage project, this will obviously include public consultation, public notice, Just wanted to give council a heads up that that will be coming in the near future.
Okay, thank you very much. Anything from council? Councillor Denny, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the chair, and Lee, thank you for that report. How does this work, which is great, and I'm so glad that we're moving forward on it. How does it tie in with the future county road work that I don't think we have a date on it yet, but I think in the next couple of years?
Yeah, through the chair. That's really, back in 2019, certainly when this was first started, that's what we were hoping for, is that Main Street through West Lorne would see the same reconstruction as Furnival Road in Rodney in the near future, in which, we can incorporate that work together with that rehabilitation of the county road. Currently, Main Street in West Lorne is not slated for another 4 years in the county plans. And obviously, as we've seen with other projects and with, other competing projects throughout Elgin County, there's no guarantees that is actually going to happen 4 years from now. So, we feel that doing this now, certainly it's not as advantageous as including it in a reconstruction project, but at the same time, it can be done now, and that's one less thing that needs to be done, down the road. And it will provide relief as far as drainage concerns on Main Street between now and the time that reconstruction takes place.
Okay, yes, carry on.
Just one follow-up, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Lee, for that. And your report, which I'm guessing will also provide a cost estimate of what this work would be, and then we can really use that information to decide, if the juice is worth the squeeze. And I totally understand that this work needs to be done, but I mean, also if we're talking millions of dollars versus waiting a few more years, will we have all the options to consider in this report?
Through the chair, yes, this will work the same as any municipal drain in the rural area. The engineer will continue with his work. Like I said, there will be public consultation as part of that, meetings with all the affected landowners. And then once the engineer has his report complete for the drain work in its entirety, that will be presented to council, and council will have, council will be able to make that decision at that time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, further questions? No, can I have the recommendation, please?
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Infrastructure and Development, for information purposes.
Move it, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a 5 minutes break if anybody wants to stretch their legs. And we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Or back to order. And we go to 7.5.3, banners. Lee, I think that's over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anyways, if you remember last council meeting, there was a delegation came from the West Lorne Optimist Club, and they were looking for permission to put banners up in downtown West Lorne to celebrate their 50th anniversary this year. They have celebrations planned for June the 7th. And so we worked with those. We worked with the Optimist Club. They've identified 5 locations in West Lorne that they would like to put these banners up. And our current flag policy does not cover banners going up, but staff's recommendation would be to allow those banners for these celebrations, and then have staff prepare an amendment to the municipality's current flag policy that will deal with future requests.
Okay. Questions by council? Could we have the recommendation then, please, for that?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Infrastructure and Development, and that West Elgin Council approves the request to display 5 Optimist Club banners in conjunction with 50th anniversary celebrations scheduled for Saturday, June 7th, 2025. And that West Elgin staff install these banners at locations approved by the Manager of Infrastructure and Development during the first week of May and remove them during the following in the week following anniversary celebrations. And that West Elgin Council directs staff to prepare an amendment with the municipality's current flag policy for the purpose of dealing with future banner requests.
Okay. No questions, so a mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconder, Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. We go to 7.6, and it's over to you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair to council. So this item or this report's brought to you today as a procedural report with in compliance with the Municipal Act Section 262. After the previous meeting, we did have a councillor who submitted their resignation. So this is just to declare the seat vacant. At the next meeting, council will receive another report with the options to move forward. So this report is simply just to declare the seat vacant, which is a requirement again within the Municipal Act. Is there any questions or concerns with this report?
Any questions from council? Seeing none.
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Terry Toshchuk, clerk, regarding declaration of vacancy, Councillor Ward 3. And whereas former Ward 3 Councillor Heather Doherty resigned from council on March 28th, 2025, therefore pursuant to Section 262(1) of the Municipal Act 2001, Council of the Municipality of West Elgin does hereby declare the office of Councillor Ward 3 to be vacant.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Monthly update, community services, March 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That would be me again. So this is just a monthly update to provide with some recreation bylaw and administrative items. Any questions or concerns at all from council regarding the updates that were provided? Just to make a note, special thanks to our arena staff. The ice was removed on March 31st and cleanup began after that. So hopefully soon on to some summer activities.
Yes, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr.
Danny.
Mayor, and through the chair, thank you, Madam Clerk. So that's great news that the ice is out. So I understand now that the ice is out, plans will begin for arena renovations. Is that correct?
That is correct. We are still waiting on information though for the grant that was applied for at the end of 2024. So we're at a bit of a standstill with that. But once we have some information, we'll know which direction we'll be able to go to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Seeing none, could I have the recommendation then, please?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the monthly report for March 2025 from Terry Toshchuk, Manager of Community Services, Clerk for information purposes.
Okay, mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried, thank you. 7.7, Chief Administration Officer, Information Technology Contract Extension.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report is just to bring to council's attention that our contract with Zuling Technologies has come due. And so this is a contract for a 2-year extension.
Okay, questions by council? Yes, Councillor Denning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the chair. Robin, thank you so much. Read through the agreement. Everything seems fine. I just didn't have the previous agreement from 2 years ago to compare what the increases were. You by chance know offhand, percentage wise, what the increases versus 2 years ago?
I would have to get back to you on the exact increases. My understanding is that it was a status quo contract, but I will make sure that we maybe have seen some CPI increases as far as costings, so I can return that information. As far as the structure of the contract, it is the same, slight changes so that there were some reciprocal agreements instead of one-way agreements, but otherwise it was a standard contract.
Thank you.
Further questions? Seeing none? Could I have the recommendation, please?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report Information Technology Contract Extension from R. Greenall, CAO, and that staff be authorized to take the necessary actions to finalize and formalize the 2-year contract extension with Zuling Technologies, Inc.
Move it, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried, thank you. 7.7.2. West Elgin Economical Development Committee, 2025 Action Plan. It's over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm bringing this report on behalf of the West Elgin Economic Development Committee. They have previously spoke to council or brought forward to council direction of how this committee should function. And on March 31st, the committee group met together, and following council's strategic plan, we identified some projects that we would like to complete for this year. And those projects are focusing on a brand strategy. Now, I understand the organization had undergone some branding in the past, but what we do not see at this moment in time is a brand strategy. And so branding isn't just the logo that we use, but it's understanding sort of those shared visions and values of the community. It's understanding those objectives that we're wanting to seek, and then putting together a strategy that helps to promote this community, both within to ourselves and to our business communities, and then both outwards to the community surrounding us for tourism purposes, for the purposes of attracting more economic drivers within the community and even residents. So it's a larger project that they would like to undertake. They also propose many policies and programs, and I know we've had some questions around a committee providing policy. However, council, always remember that anything comes back to this council for your approval. This committee is formed by dedicated individuals who are business people, who are entrepreneurs, who are farmers. They belong to the ag sector. We have representation of council by 2 members of our council and even staff of myself. And so we are looking to investigate those policies and programs that we feel may help council achieve its strategic plan. And those were noted within the report itself. So looking at vacant commercial or mixed-use policies, entrepreneurship programs, rural residential or development pay structures. At this moment in time, these are just sort of thoughts that our committee has put forward, but ultimately with council's approval, it is something that they would like to investigate and then come back to this council to educate as to how they think it may or may not benefit us. So council, with that, I put forward the West Elgin Economic Development Action Plan for 2025.
Thank you very much for that. Anything from council? Okay. Can I have the recommendations then, please, for that?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Economic Development Committee via Robin Greenall, CAO, and that West Elgin Council approves in principle the Economic Development Committee 2025 Action Plan, and that West Elgin Council considers financial commitments to support the plan as part of their 2025 budget deliberations.
Move it, please. Okay. Yes, carry on.
Okay, through the chair, thank you so much for that. So I have a question with the financial implications. So where would that money be coming from for the budget line? And you're saying we would have final say on that?
At this moment in time, it's an estimate, and so that would be put forward into council's 2020-25 budget. Council would have deliberations on supporting that portion of their budget. That's the estimate of which we feel will be needed in order to move forward to develop a plan.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought, but wasn't sure. Thank you.
Further questions? Seeing none?
I already read, yep. So we
Pardon?
just need a mover and seconder. The recommendation was
Yeah.
already read.
Move it, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? It's carried, thank you. Go to 8, committee and board reports or updates. We've all had a chance to look at those.
There's no updates been
No.
submitted. Does any members of council have any updates for any of their board or committees that they're on?
Okay. So we go to notice of motion.
Been received.
None received. Council inquiries and announcements.
So this is a council opportunity for informal inquiries or announcements.
I'd just like to say one thing. And being as we got so many people in here and we know what's going on in the world today, I'm just encouraging everybody, please try to shop local and try to buy Canadian if you can. And we'll all do our part. That's all. Thank you. Where do we go from there? Correspondence. No correspondence?
There was 4 items of correspondence. Would council like to see any of those items pulled under and for items requiring discussion? I don't have the full agenda in front of me. It was item number 11. Yeah. So there was the minutes of Heritage Home, Elgin County from the council chambers, County of Elgin Notice of Decision, and the Thames Valley District School Board Accommodation Plan. The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receive and file all correspondence not otherwise dealt with.
Okay, now we need to move it,
Yes,
please.
please.
Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour. That's carried. Thank you very much. Number 12. Items requiring council consideration. 12.1. Councillor Statham. Reconsideration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To start this off, I'll just, for the record, this motion is for reconsideration is essentially a 3-step process. Step number 1, the motion to reconsider. Councillor Statham is first asking council to reconsider its December 19th motion. To pass this motion, it will require a 2/3 vote, which in our case requires 3 out of the 4 West Elgin council members. And if successful, then there will be reconsideration of the December 19th motion. The second step, December 19th motion. This item will be brought back to the table only if the reconsideration vote passes. If council wishes to consider the new motion presented by Councillor Statham, then we must turn down, vote no for the December 19th motion. And the third step, if council proceeds with voting down the original December 19th motion, the new motion that Councillor Statham presented will be brought forward for discussion and voting. Any questions at all?
Okay, so we
So
go to the first motion.
correct. The first motion indicates that I, Councillor Statham, hereby move the motion for reconsideration of motion 2024-463 from December 19th, 2024 regarding Port Glasgow Trailer Park next steps. Councillor Statham moved the motion.
Okay, so I'm looking for a seconder. Councillor Denning, I'm looking for all approval.
So I have Deputy Mayor Tellier is no. Councillor Statham? Or yes? Councillor Denning?
Yes.
Mayor Latham?
Yes.
That passes.
Yes.
Through the chair, I just see it as, we made a decision on December 19th. The trailer park's not for sale. Putting it for surplus to me is not for sale. It's just looking at options and looking at what we're doing. So by having this motion, mine was a no because I felt like we were, maybe I'm misunderstanding. Going back, reneging, and then coming back, going back and forth. We're still seeking information if it's surplus. We have lots of lands that are surplus and we haven't got them for sale right now. Haven't had them for sale for quite some time. Some we do, some of them sell, some don't. So I just wanted to explain what I felt about that and why I felt that way. I feel when we're in these council chambers, we make decisions and then we information gather all the time. And to go back and not do that and to just go back and forth, to me, in my mind, it seems like going back and forth, back and forth. Your shirts say Port Glasgow Trailer Park is not for sale. It's never been for sale. It's not for sale. It's something what we're discussing to see what's going on, which to me, that's what this motion says, and that's what we're already doing. So I didn't understand why we were going back.
I see your point.
It's not a realtor.ca. There's no sign in front of it. To me, we're already discussing, we're already information gathering, we're already talking. The piece that everyone says that we're not having transparency, we've talked to you about everything. Having not a meeting, we decided as a council to have a meeting when everybody was back from Florida, other parts of Canada, for their 6 months, and then they live 6 months here. And I've been speaking with people, and they're pretty upset that the decisions have been made without them being present and able to be present. A lot of older people are in our park, and a lot of older people are feeling that they're being left out because they don't do Zoom, they don't do this. And they really wanted to have something when the park opened back up again. So that was our feeling for not having something before that you guys organized on March 10th. So that's just my feelings on that, and I just wanted to let them be known and understood. And I just feel that people misunderstood what we were already doing. There was no sign on it. It's not for sale. I'm not sure where that came from.
Okay, thank you very much. We've
Okay, yep, we'll move on.
we've got to move on.
So next, as a reminder, the December 19th motion, this item being brought back. If council wishes to consider the new motion presented, then council must vote to turn down the motion. The motion is whereas the Port Glasgow, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Much in front of me. That West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Embadura, CAO Treasurer, regarding next steps for the Port Glasgow Trailer Park lands, and that West Elgin Council chooses the following recommendations. That West Elgin Council considers operating the park for the 2025 calendar year and directs staff to bring 2025 Port Glasgow Trailer Park fees and charges bylaw for review and approval at the next meeting of council, and that West Elgin Council provide trailer park residents the opportunity to submit offers for consideration, and that council appoint Councillor Doherty and Councillor Statham to the Port Glasgow Trailer Park Advisory Committee.
Okay, so we ought to go a motion to decline.
Already council votes. The motion is sitting on the table, and council, if you wish to consider Ryan's new motion, then you must vote no on this one. Because then you are declining the motion. If you wish this motion to stand, you vote yes.
Shall I go around the councillors?
Yes, please.
Okay, the motion of December 19th, sorry, Mr. Mayor, has been brought forward. If council, because the reconsideration vote was in the positive, it means now council wants to reconsider, or at least the option to reconsider its motion of December 19th. The motion now is on the table. Council, you have to make a decision. If you wish to hold that motion, you vote yes, or decline that motion, vote no. If you want to consider Ryan's new motion, we must first decline this motion, if that helps you.
Is
None of us understand what's going on.
Is everyone
Maybe Ryan
clear?
and-
Are you clear with it?
If this motion passes, it stands. If this motion fails, then we can move on to the new motion. We can only go to the new motion if this motion fails. So if you wish to stay with the motion of December 19th, then you vote yes. If you wish to consider another motion, then you must vote no.
Okay.
Does that help?
That's what I thought it was, but
Okay.
it was all explained.
Has everybody got it clear before we go round? Because it's important. And so, Councillor Denning?
No.
Councillor Statham?
No.
Deputy Mayor Tellier?
No.
And myself? No.
The third step is the new motion, whereas sorry. Again, all over the place. Whereas the Port Glasgow Trailer Park lands were to declared surplus by council at its October 24th, 2024 meeting. And whereas the proposed divestment has not been clearly communicated to the users of the Port Glasgow Trailer Park or surrounding area. And whereas alternative uses or revenue opportunities have not been explored and compared to the current divestment plan. Be it resolved that the divestment of Port Glasgow Trailer Park be deferred until a comprehensive cost recovery analysis is completed, outlining the financial implications and continued municipal ownership and operation. And further, that a report is delivered to council with full cost recovery options and divestment options.
Okay, have you got a report for that, or was that it?
No.
I just asked for a mover and second.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going from everybody's clear in their heads. A mover and seconder. Move, councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Denning.
However, I would like to speak to it.
Okay, speak to it, please.
Now that it's been seconded, we can have discussion on the.
Yes, you
correct?
can.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Statham, for bringing this notice of motion to council. Lots of time to consider this and review this. And one of the most recent things that's certainly impacted my thinking has been this afternoon with Mr. Lumley's presentation. I feel as though considering the idea of leasing the park, not selling the park at this time to Port Glasgow Trailer Park residents seems to me to be worth exploring as a very decent compromise. So I would suggest considering an amendment to your motion, the second last paragraph, instead of it saying, be it resolved that the divestment of Port Glasgow Trailer Park be deferred until a comprehensive cost recovery analysis is completed, outlining the financial implications of continued municipal ownership and operation, to this. Be it resolved that the leasing of Port Glasgow Trailer Park be considered while a comprehensive cost recovery analysis is completed, outlining the financial implications of continued municipal ownership and operation. That is my thoughts.
How do you feel about that, Ryan?
Thank you, through the chair. I think the goal here, for me, is that it's necessary and responsible for us as council to look at all the options, all of the options, not just one. I think that we have to look at everything. We have to not only conduct the cost recovery analysis, look at alternative models of management, of which the leasing agreement is certainly one. And I think it's really important that we look at everything. So, I would certainly agree with that. I think that is an option, and I think that we need to look at that as well. It'd be irresponsible for us to not look at all of the options on the table. I'd certainly be comfortable with a motion that looks at that as well, because that's
fine, thank you.
That's the responsibility.
So you'll hold your motion, seconded? Or has anybody else got?
Are we amending the motion?
Yeah. Are we amending? Captain Statham, this is.
Oh, there's an amendment to it.
Well, I think, Councillor Denning, if I understand correctly, what you're saying is that we want to
Sounds the
make sure that
same.
we're looking at everything.
Yeah.
Do I understand correctly?
Yes, in broad strokes, and very specifically, my wish would be for us to consider amending this motion to include the exploration of leasing the park to Port Glasgow Trailer Park residents.
Yeah, and if codifying it within the motion, that's fine.
That
Yeah.
certainly could be brought up in the discussions anyway, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
That's great.
so
I just asked that we take a quick break so that I can capture that appropriately.
okay. Just a quick break while we catch up. Okay, so we go to put an emotion to amend.
A motion to amend, and the motion will be that whereas the Port Glasgow Trailer Park lands were declared as surplus by council at its October 24th, 2024 meeting, and whereas the proposed divestment has not been clearly communicated to the users of Port Glasgow Trailer Park or surrounding area, and whereas alternative uses or revenue opportunities have not been explored and compared to the current divestment plan, be it resolved that the divestment of Port Glasgow Trailer Park be deferred until a comprehensive cost recovery analysis is completed, outlining the financial implications of continued municipal ownership and operation, inclusive of leasing options. And further, that a report is delivered to council with full cost recovery options and divestment options.
Okay, so now we'll go move. I move. Do you still move? Okay, seconded. Councillor Denny? All in favour? That's carried. And is that it?
That's it for that one.
Okay. Okay, we go to 12.2. Councillor Denning, Cenotaph. You wouldn't mind, please, Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through the chair. So certainly this motion doesn't appear to be anywhere near as contentious as the last one. But essentially, the crux of this is what this motion does is it's council asking staff to do some research on the value of whether or not moving our cenotaph from in front of Bo Horvat Arena to our little Rosalie Krebs Park, which is on Monroe Street, just down past Tim Hortons, is something worth doing. The reasoning behind this is threefold. The president of the West Elgin Legion I spoke with, he's working with his executive to see what the appetite for that is. And of course, this is going to be part of that exploration process to make sure that the Legion is fully supportive of this. West Lorne Horticulture Society has committed to beautifying the cenotaph and the park if the cenotaph has been moved. Our arena is on Graham Road. That is a county road that requires closing every Remembrance Day ceremony, whereas Rosalie Krebs Park is on Monroe Street, which would not require county permission to close it. Of course, one of the things that staff will be looking at is parking. And of course, once a year, there's going to be a lot of cars parked on Monroe Street, on Ridge Street, in our municipal parking lot. I see it really no different than when we would have busy funerals in West Lorne and people would be parked on side streets for those few hours. The point of the matter is that we see some growth on Monroe Street. We see some new housing coming, possibly some more on the other side of Monroe Street on the property that West Elgin has purchased. I see it as being a centerpiece that's very, very close to downtown, something that's attractive to bring people into our community and a place for people to enjoy green space while downtown doing their commerce. I look forward to hoping that the council will support my motion and looking forward to seeing what staff comes back with to see if this is a project worth considering or not. Thank you.
Anything from council on that? Yes. Councillor Statham.
I very much agree, Councillor Denning. This is not nearly as contentious. I think this sort of exemplifies what we're trying to do here, and what we're asking staff to do is come back with some facts, and that's what we're looking for. So I support them. I support that wholeheartedly.
Okay. So recommendation for that?
Recommendation is whereas the West Lorne Remembrance Day service is held annually at the Cenotaph located in front of the Bo Horvat Community Center Arena. And whereas the current location requires a major road to be blocked during the ceremony, creating traffic and safety concerns for those attending. Therefore, West Elgin Council is requesting staff prepare a report to council with options to move the West Lorne Cenotaph to the Rosalie Krebs Heritage Park in West Lorne, creating a safe place for the annual Remembrance Day service in collaboration with the West Lorne Legion and West Lorne Horticultural Society for presentation and beautification purposes.
Move it, please. Councillor Denny, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. We go to 13, bylaws. 13.1, IT agreement.
That bylaw 2025-18 being a bylaw to authorize the corporation of the municipality of West Elgin and Zuling Technologies, Inc. for the provision of technology, maintenance, and support services, and repeal bylaw 2023-25 be read a first, second, third, and final time.
Move it, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Denny, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. 13.2, Animal Control Agreement, Southwest Middlesex Animal Shelter.
That bylaw 2025-19 being a bylaw to authorize the corporation of the municipality of West Elgin and Southwest Middlesex Animal Shelter for the provision of animal control services, K9, and repeal bylaw 2025-02 be read a first, second, third, and final time.
A mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried. And with that, we move into a closed session.
That the Council of the Municipality of West Elgin hereby proceeds into closed session at 5:32 PM to discuss two matters pursuant to the Municipal Act, Section 239-2B, being personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal or local board employees.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you very much. We're reporting from the closed session.
Reporting from closed at 6:13 PM. Council received two items pursuant to Section 239-2B, being personal matters about identifiable individuals for information purposes only.
Okay, so the next is the confirming bylaw.
That bylaw 2025-20 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council held on April 10th, 2025, be read a first, second, third, and final time.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried. And we go to 17, adjournment.
That the Council of the Municipality of West Elgin hereby adjourn at 6:13 PM to meet again at 4:00 PM on April 24th, 2025, or at the call of the chair.
Mover, please. Councillor Denny, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? Carried. Thank you very much.